Hey everybody, welcome back to The Move, presented to you by Patron Tequila, our presenting sponsor this year, the 2018 Tour de France. It's Wednesday, I believe, right, JB? It is Wednesday.
The 11th.
Yeah, it's Wednesday the 11th, and we're talking about Stage 5 from Lorient to Quimper, 204 kilometers, otherwise known as 129 miles. That's a long ways, JB, actually.
With a lot of undulating. Lumpy is what you guys, all you riders use.
Twisty, turny.
Is that the standard term among riders, lumpy? I hear it a lot from the guys, and you use it too.
They are rolling.
Yeah.
Although it rolling sounds too nice.
It was tougher than that.
Yeah, it was. But beautiful day again there in Brittany, and I have to say I expected more action, more fireworks. I don't know whether it was just more attacks or maybe more. I guess not to sound really mean and bad, but I expected more crashes.
You were calling for carnage. Carnage was the word,
and it wasn't.
Yesterday.
Maybe
it didn't happen.
It just didn't happen. Didn't happen. And I also to me, Peter Sagan just hasn't looked at his best, and I was completely proven wrong. I mean, he looked. He was dominant. He's our patron of the day. I mean, you can't. There's no two ways about it. And so, congratulations to him for most importantly being the patron. And by the way, he probably is actually the patron of this peloton. And secondly, and not as important, is winning another stage in the Tour de France and keeping his green jersey.
Yeah, you thought maybe he was in a little bit of hurt the last day or two, and wouldn't pull it off today, but he did. And we were all watching that sprint, which just felt like it went on forever. I mean, that was a tough uphill sprint.
It is. But before we get into that, can we take care of a little business?
Mm-hmm.
We have to take care of the folks that are enabling us to sit in this state-of-the-art studio here in Aspen, Colorado. So this show today is brought to you by a few folks. Number one is Helix. We talked about them a couple of stages ago. This is a DNA product, over 30 DNA products, focusing on ancestry, nutrition, fitness, all that you can imagine. I had my DNA mapped. One thing, and I touched on this the other day, is I was a little, and I think most people are freaked out in a way to know. And, there's almost this stigma associated with it. I had that, and I went ahead and, people are afraid that you're going to be told that you're going to die tomorrow. That's a little extreme. But it's great to know. I mean, just to know all of these things. And as Helix just continues to develop their products, it's like every month there's just something new that you can learn about, not just your ancestry.
Mm-hmm. You
can take your Neanderthal selfie. But now learning about diet and health and wellness, all of these things that you're potentially allergic to, super simple to do. But the thing that is interesting for me, and I'm just reading here that this is just coming online, this food sensitivity study, right? So much of what you read now is, are you gluten-free? Are you allergic to dairy? Well, now with Helix and through the simple process, you can learn all that.
And it tests for 96 foods.
Yeah.
You get a very, very accurate look at what you should or
That's
should
awesome,
not
because I only
eating.
eat like 5 foods.
Yeah.
So I'm good.
But, I mean, you may find out there's something you're eating all the time.
Watch it, all 5 I'm bad on.
And you can tweak your diet and feel a heck of a lot better. And it does test for gluten and dairy.
That's right. That's right.
Pretty good information, too.
That's right.
It's funny. I when I was thinking about Helix, I went to what they was called a cellular nutritionist once. First thing he asked me was my heritage, origin. Because depending on where you're from, they immediately knew a lot of German, Austrian.
Oof.
Meat and potatoes guy.
Yeah.
But then immediately with that information, he was able to give me a lot of feedback on what I should or shouldn't be eating.
So let's go, and our second sponsor today is High Brew Coffee, and just to combine the two, it'd be really unfortunate if through the DNA testing process you learned that you're allergic to caffeine. What would we do? We would be in a lot of trouble. The good folks from High Brew Coffee came on to support the show every episode. 6 different flavors, 2 cups of coffee per can, totally portable, all natural ingredients, just get you charged right up. And as I say, every day with this stinking World Cup going on, there are days we got to get up really early. It's almost over, by the way, folks. I cannot wait. Well, actually, what I want is just the penalty kicks. Like, let's just
start with that and let's
kick,
get it over
whatever
with.
You call it, the overtime. I love
That's
that.
exciting.
Let's start with that.
Yeah.
Anyways, thanks to the good folks at High Brew Coffee. You can find it at Amazon or your local Whole Foods. 6 different flavors, 2 cups of coffee per can. Take it on the go.
Now let's go back to this sprint. I mean, it was painful. It was twisty. It was uphill. It was a long slug. And all of us were just kind of moaning while we're just watching it today at Stage 5.
And
we're just
Sagan mastered. It was interesting if you guys watched any of the footage. His post-race interview when he was sitting in the little interview room there, he looked wrecked.
His face looked very pale, didn't it?
It looked like an 18-wheeler just rolled right over him. And that's what happens on a stage like that that's nervous. He actually liked the stage, according to him. Nice parcours. It was a nice parcours today, I think. 38, but the 38 guys that were in the front, I mean, if we go look at that group, every one of those 38 guys was, the lactate was like right here. They could taste it. You just can't get it. Those finishes, you can't hide. And then they start to fall off. Next guy, 14, and then there were groups, just because of the nature of the stage, there were groups everywhere. You had a 1-minute group, a 1:17 group. These guys are just sitting up on the climb. And then you had the sprinters, but you had a big group, or essentially a gruppetto back in the back, the bus. You had a group at 8 minutes, but the bus with all the sprinters, including Lawson Craddock, another shout out to him for finishing, was almost 21 minutes down.
The broken bone group. But he's still in there.
He's still in there.
That's what's amazing. He's a fighter.
He's a fighter.
Yeah, we're impressed by that.
Yeah.
One racer out before they even made it to the start. A very significant one.
Actually, this is big news on 3 fronts as far as I'm concerned. First of all, of course, if he wasn't well, he wouldn't have been a factor today. But let's just assume that Michael Matthews was 100% healthy. This stage had his name written all over it. He would have been great at this finish. So number one. Number two, for Tom Dumoulin, this is a big loss. So Tom Dumoulin, who is eyeing a yellow jersey in Paris, this is a rider that he could have used. Granted, good we got through the team time trial. They did that. They did a great job there. But Michael Matthews is somebody that, forget his green jersey chances. Maybe he still had that as an ambition to repeat. But as a helper to Tom Dumoulin, that's a significant loss.
Yeah, he woke up sick, throwing up, fever, couldn't even keep down breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
And so he didn't even go to the start line.
Right.
That's one of the things you talk about it, and everyone should consider that. Like, just to stay healthy during this 3-week, show up healthy, but stay healthy.
Yeah. Super critical.
And your immune system probably is just shattered when you're pushing yourself that far.
So it's either some sort of a chest cold, bronchitis, flu, etc., or a stomach bug. Those are really the 2 big categories. But just think about this for a second. Think about the close confines of a cycling team. Right? We feel like we're all. I'm pretty sure that if you started sneezing right now,
you're going to get it in 2 days.
The team bus is tight.
Mm-hmm.
These European rooms are tight. They're always together, shaking hands, high-fiving, sharing. If each rider has a roommate, especially I never thought about this. With 9-man teams, I always had my own room. Now I guess they all have roommates with 8-man teams. Mm-hmm. That's an even number, and so. The chances that if it is a stomach thing, you just hope that it doesn't start going on the team via the dining table, the room, or the bus. Did
you ever have a teammate fall ill during one of those, and then you're like, oh shit, I was just sitting there with them.
Nothing,
But it could spread so easily.
Of course, yeah.
And then you even see them, like, take the winner of a stage, for example.
Mm-hmm.
How many people are touching them just as they cross the finish line? It's ridiculous.
You want to know how many people are touching them? Too many.
Yeah, and then you're doing the podium.
You can get super sinister about this because the ability to touch an athlete and put something on them, not that this has happened that we know of, but certainly could. It's think about it.
The podium, you're shaking hands, you're getting kissed. Like, it's
those people are friendlies, but if you had if you're Chris Froome and some guy came up to you in the middle of that as you're rolling to sign on, and some French guy is just kind of rubbing on your arm, I would be stressed about that because there's no telling what he's rubbing on your arm.
Point is, the chances of falling ill are high.
Yeah.
And your immune system's down. I'm surprised it doesn't happen more.
Right.
It's part of the game to stay healthy for that 3-week period.
I got a few things. You know, as I was watching the stage, and I watched down in the over there where I live, 20 seconds away, before I commuted to work today.
Was there a lot of traffic?
No, there was no. Well, there was traffic because we had a crew full of guys down there watching the race. So we had the sheriff back today. Had Ken Wright out. He was very angry this morning and as we were walking over here, he was, jockeying for position. Had Zach Needitz, good buddy of mine. But
and Jimmy Johnson stopped by.
And Jimmy Johnson, the 48 car, stopped by. But I was struck by, and I really actually I love this about Brittany, is when you watch the stage today. Yes, you see some French flags, but 99% of the flags, for those of you at home who don't realize what this flag was, this black and white flag that was everywhere. So that is the flag of Brittany. And Brittany is really, I don't think I know they are not as extreme, for example, as the Basque or the Catalans. To me, they're more like Texans. If a Texan has a choice of one flag to fly at his house or at his place of work,
we'll do it over the U.S. flag. Yeah,
it's the Texas flag.
Sure.
That's our choice.
Yeah.
And so, a Texan would say, "I'm not from the United States. I'm from Texas." So, in the people in Brittany are super, super proud of their region. They love that flag. They fly it with pride. And then the other thing that like a lot of these regions, especially in Europe, is they have their own language, their own dialect, which is actually a dialect that was brought to the region of Brittany from the British, and this is in the Middle Ages.
That flag is called the Gwyn Hadw.
It was on the tip of my tongue.
And I know that because one of our We Do team members, Baptiste Durand, who's French, sent that to us this morning.
Yeah.
He's like, that's what he heard us talking about it as we were watching the stage.
Yeah.
And that's streamed online. And so thanks for that info.
Listen, the other thing.
Wait, while we're talking about that region, can I throw this in?
Yeah.
I think you said this is where Hinault is from?
So this is where Bernard Hinault was born and raised, lived his entire career, obviously a 5-time winner of the Tour, worked for the Tour de France for many, many years. You would see him on the podium when he sort of handled all of those VIPs, the politicians, the sponsors, the celebrities that would sit on the side of the podium. You'd see him there. Unfortunately, Mr. Hinault has turned into one of the crankiest old bastards alive.
Is he really?
Oh, it's just, it's. And I tweeted a few months ago. I was like, I can't wait to be like an old man and just say stupid shit, just because I can.
What's he cranky about?
Oh, he's cranky about everything. He's cranky about everything.
But he's the face of the Tour, essentially.
Not anymore.
Is he
He's retired. They put
Okay.
old Bernard out to pasture. He was a beast of a bike racer. I will say that. Talked about him a few days ago. He's the guy that just planted his fist in that protester's face when they were blocking the road many years ago.
The Badger was his nickname, right?
He was the patron of that peloton.
Yeah.
Probably more so than anybody ever was. But God, he's just gotten to be a curmudgeon. It's like, chill out, dude.
I look forward to being an old curmudgeon. That's a great thing.
Look, you can be righteous and sanctimonious and grumpy and a curmudgeon if your days of cycling were lily white.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, please, no, shut up. Get in the bus with Brailsford and shut up.
Another thing we saw today that's you got a sticker.
I hope you're saying what you're going to say.
You've been calling this for a long time.
Oh, okay. This is what?
The top tube crash.
Okay, look, I'm going to say it again, people. Okay, it happened today. This technique, not even a technique, this ill-advised idea, this terrible thing of going downhill, sitting on your top tube. Everybody's doing it.
Mm-hmm.
They take it a step farther. They start pedaling when they do it.
Their chin's practically on the handlebars.
This 5 or 6 man break today. Lo and behold, one of the kids just got stuck down there, and he's lucky his crash. If you go back and watch the footage, he was about to really crash. He kept it upright while he's sitting on his top tube and ended up off the side of the road tumbling away. But people, do not do this. I don't care. I don't care what Chris Froome or Peter Sagan or the guys in the Tour do. Don't.
It's not worth it.
No. Because somebody, mark my words, somebody significant is going to yard sale, crash, eat shit in that position, and we got to stop.
You're starting because if you ride a lot, you've inevitably overshot a turn a bit.
Yeah.
And he was trying to get up and get control of it, and then the nose of the seat is just grabbing you.
Yeah, the angle wasn't the best. I mean, it was coming at it from the moto cam from just behind, so you got a lot of it, but you couldn't. To see it from the side, we would have seen exactly. But people, don't. You see anybody on your local group ride this weekend doing that, you just kick them out of the group. You can't. I'm passionate about this.
As a group, you got to police it, just like the person who's
we
in the aero
we should
bars.
do some tees where there's like an image of a dude doing it, and like the Ghostbusters thing,
The-
like the
the
line,
line
like,
through
do
it?
not. That's actually a great idea.
Let's put a stop to that.
I am very passionate about this.
Okay.
I'm more passionate about this than I am about the fact that Bernard Hinault is a grumpy old bastard. However, speaking of passion, I got one final thing.
I know where you're going with this.
This shit takes the cake. Watching the tour on NBC, watching the advertisers as we do, guess who advertises today? The United States Postal Service.
That is mind-boggling.
I mean,
see, I was watching the.
that is that. I can't even. I don't even. That's not. I don't even. Oh. This sport that had damaged them so badly. Well, let's go right back. I mean, really? Guess who bought the ad?
I thought you were just playing with me this morning.
Yours truly.
Right. Who paid for that ad? Yeah.
This ad brought to you by Lance Armstrong / USPS.
Because I was watching the Aussie feed on streaming, which
Commercial
is good.
free.
So you're
Commercial
watching.
free.
You were watching the other feed.
Yeah, because when I got the boys downstairs watching it in the TV room, it's better on the big screen.
Right.
You know, I can't.
I would have given anything to see your reaction. What did you do when you saw a U.S. Postal ad?
It's just. It's just I don't know.
Were you
Look, I
just
can't even
thinking-
come up with words.
Were you just sitting there thinking, I
What-
can't even believe what I am seeing?
Whatever. It's not whatever, but it is whatever.
Wow.
Wow. It'd be interesting if they keep doing it.
It's just mind-boggling.
Yeah.
It's the most mind-boggling. Do you want to talk about some lighter-hearted?
Yeah, let's talk
fluffier
about this
stuff?
text message I got yesterday.
Yes.
So this is great. I'm, most people when you get a text, you have the person saved in your phone, so you see, okay, I've got a text here from Mark Higgins and Joe DeSalvo, Ian Boswell, George Hincapie. You all are virtually reading my text. So I get this text yesterday from, let me pull her up here, from a 203 number. Just comes in, 203. And I'm like, I don't know that number. It says, here is the definitive pronunciation from the horse's mouth. Good luck. And it's this clip of Gaviria, who we keep getting accused of butchering his name.
Not Gaviria.
Well, whatever. That's how we've been saying it. From today on, we're going to say it the right way, because we're going to play you all the clip that was attached to this text message. But before we get to it, I'm like, okay, somebody got my phone number and just did me a solid and sent me this clip. And I wrote him back and I said, oh, this is fucking amazing. That's what I said. And he says, this is David Michaels here. I just realized I sent this through my NBC phone, enjoying the podcast every day. So David Michaels, who's the main producer at the tour for NBC, he's the head honcho, which is awfully sweet. I don't know. I guess it was him that walked up to what we used to call Gaviria and got us
The correct pronunciation from the man himself.
From Gaviria himself.
And proof that everyone's doing it wrong.
And then
not just
on the
us.
videos, we can put the actual video on the YouTube and Facebook stuff, right?
Yes, for the one going out to everybody else.
Okay.
But I'll just do the audio for the podcast here right now.
Here we go.
You ready?
Yeah,
All right. Here it is.
we think.
I know. I'm just trying to unmute.
Do I need to have my...
Yeah, you can hear it.
How do you pronounce your last name?
Gaviria.
One more time?
Gaviria.
Gaviria.
Okay.
Gaviria.
wanna hear it again?
Say it 20 times, and we'll never screw it up.
How do you pronounce your last name?
Gaviria.
One more time?
Gaviria.
Gaviria. Gaviria. How can we remember...
It's not just a hot topic on our show. It's apparently
Gaviria.
everyone-
No,
Gaviria.
all the English stuff I've watched, be it NBC or the Aussies, nobody's saying it that way.
No one's saying Gaviria.
Gaviria. Gaviria.
Yeah,
I got another.
It almost sounds like a D instead of an R. Gaviria.
Now we're gonna screw it up. Gaviria. So there you go, folks. I mean,
The definitive answer.
And I got another text from a Mexican friend of mine yesterday who was upset that we were mispronouncing Gaviria and also Bahrain Meridia.
Okay.
Because I was going Bahrain Merida. Or I don't know what I was saying, but I was not getting it. He's like, dude. And he speaks perfect English. His name is Jose Luisa. His nickname is El Chapo. But it's Meridia.
You got to keep in mind we're Texans. We kind of butcher a lot of things.
Yeah. You people know what we're talking about.
Okay. One thing that I noticed as we're watching the stage is, and we have technology at our fingertips, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're very quick to pull up the weather at the finishing town.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. It's pretty.
Amazing. It's 2018.
I know it's remarkable of the information that's at your fingertips.
Yeah.
Compare that to back in the day trying to find out what the hell's going on up the road.
The weather, they would have provided us with the weather. What's even more advantageous is Google Earth, Google Maps, all of these different mapping systems where you can go on, zoom in if you're concerned about the last 5 or 10 kilometers. Today with Google Maps, just that alone, Google Earth, you can zoom right in and you could see if there was a traffic island or a post or you can see exactly how wide the road is.
You can get wind speeds.
Real time?
Yeah.
Yeah, I am not that advanced yet.
But I mean, I'm just thinking about it, comparing what a director can have someone in the car looking up and dictating to his riders is remarkable.
Yeah.
I mean, just on a phone.
And it makes these races that much faster. I mean, we've talked about the fitness of the riders. We've talked about the equipment, the deep dish rims, the aero frames, the fact that they're all wearing what's essentially one-piece suits now. Knowing that level of detail, you're not hitting the brakes as much. And so this group just gets faster and faster, which unfortunately means it's harder and harder to stop sometimes.
Someone else wrote into us asking about, and I'm sure you know the answer to this, quite often as the pelotons going by, you'll see 5 helicopters lined up in a row. Now, we all know the camera crews are using helicopters, motos, all kinds of stuff, but...
Well, that camera crew is the crew that's shooting the 5 helicopters
I know,
in the field.
right.
But those 5 helicopters, which you guys, these races sometimes get just monotonous, so they show castles and fields with people doing silly things, and they show the helicopters too. But so those are all for all of those people that you see on the podium that are on either side, the politicians, the sponsors, the celebrities. They spend the day in that helicopter, one of those helicopters, flying around, essentially just watching the race from 500 feet above the race, which is, I've never done it, obviously, but you can imagine as a pretty kick-ass bird's eye view of what's going on.
So those are VIPs.
Yeah, those
going
are the
up and
mucky
down
mucks. Yeah,
and getting picked up.
yeah.
That's kind of cool,
Yeah.
though. That would be
Before
a
we
great
move
way to
on,
see
let's do a little more business. Last bit of business for the day. My friends at PowerDot, a couple of things. I talk about it every day. You don't have to be an old man and hurt to use this. You can be a young man or woman and get hurt. This portable eStim unit is, I love this product. Back in the day, you had these big bulky things that were down at the PT office, and they had cables everywhere. You couldn't take them with you. This thing sits in my backpack. Take it everywhere I go. Anytime I have a little ache or pain, bam, slap on the pads. Make sure it's charged up. Bluetooth enabled through the app on your phone. One other thing I just want to say, and I want to give a quick shout out. I had a call with these guys yesterday just to check in, and this is really a thank you to our listeners. They are seeing unbelievable traffic in terms of upwards of 5x web traffic, not just because it's a great product, but because we have great listeners. So guys and gals, thanks for supporting PowerDot. As we say every day, they're giving away, go to powerdot.com/themove. They're giving away 1 unit per day, and as well as offering our viewers 25% off.
So at the very least, go sign up for the freebie. And then as you read more information about it, you might end up saying, hey, I need one of these.
Yeah, and you know what? I realized that I forgot the link for Helix. Man, I'm slipping.
I'll get it for you.
Yeah, so go to Helix. Going back to Helix, our DNA friends, if you want your Neanderthal selfie or learn your latest food allergies, go check out helix.com/themove. My bad for forgetting that. My bad.
You got it. You just recovered.
Thank you.
Let's talk about tomorrow's stage because it has a particularly grinding finish.
Yes, very similar to today. Not as lumpy, quote unquote, early on, but the But the Mur de Bretagne, the finish climb at, what did I say, 3 roughly, gosh, this print, JB, is just, well, they're calling it 2K at roughly 7%. That's, all the way up to the finish. It's a straight run-in. There's no, it is essentially a road climb. You can see, you'll be able to see everybody in front of you. It's going to be another burner for these guys.
A lot of people have asked online, what is it you're looking at, whether you're watching it on Facebook or YouTube. Of course, the podcast listeners aren't seeing this, but it's, again, worth mentioning what it is you're looking at.
No, we got the race. This is the official race book. This is the book that the Tour gives the riders and the directors and the staff of the team. So the riders obviously see the intimate details and the true details of the race exactly. But even the staff, there's all these deviations for them to get. Once the riders start, obviously the staff can't just follow behind in cars. They have to know the quickest, most direct route to get to. They have to be at the finish. So, this book covers really everybody that rolls along on the Tour Caravan.
Very cool.
Hey,
and it's very small. The edition
it
we
is,
have
the
is
way we print it out off this PDF. It's so small. It just. I've got 1.5s right now. I might have to kick it up to 1.75s.
Mm-hmm.
I got an email from our friend Tori last night.
Tori is the 10-year-old that showed up at our preview show in Santa Fe. Cute girl.
Yeah, she's awesome. She just she couldn't find the podcast, so I wrote her back, and I read this one the other day where I sent her that where to find it, going on iTunes and stuff. So and then I ended the email yesterday because she wanted to keep tuning in. And I said, "P.S. Sometimes I say bad words. I'm sorry." And she says, "It's okay. My brother and sister always say bad words all the time. Thanks. We found the podcast. I watched the Tour de France last night, and I have a couple of questions. What do you think about when you're riding? Because I'm not sure those guys are thinking." Did I already read this yesterday?
No, this is different.
This is new. Sometimes I think they're not thinking. They are not staying on the path. Why are they running into poles and dislocating their shoulders and have millions of Band-Aids? Even I know how to stay on the path. Also, I like the high sock trend that you started. What is it like when you crash? My mom told me that your handlebars one time got caught on a bag and you flipped over. Why do you have to wear such ugly outfits? This girl's getting, and their emails are getting longer. I only like the postal jersey. Well, no, that's me. Why do the time trial bikes have cup thingies and a closer together set of handlebars? One more. Does it hurt your back to bend over while biking? When do you think? Then she says, "When do you think I could call into the podcast? The Tour is so boring without you on it, too." Tori, here, look at this. She's taking it next level. Tori, your best friend. This is amazing.
We're going to have to do a special edition podcast just to address every one of those questions.
This will be an
Pick
extra
one of them. Pick one of them.
I am proud of the high sock trend. I will say that. What are they thinking about? Listen, Tori, I've told it on the show before. They're all thinking and they're all paying attention. It's just when you have 170 guys going down the road and there are poles at times in the road or traffic islands or roundabouts or the road narrows, it's just hard. Everybody, Tori, think about this. All of those guys want to be at one place at one time, and if you can figure it out, 170 guys cannot all be there. So if somebody's stubborn and just doesn't want to break, well, then that leads to carnage. And so that's bike racing. That's modern day bike racing.
Well, you'll have to email the rest of the answers to those questions to her today, okay?
Mm-hmm.
A few more comments. Ramon in where is he? In Puerto Rico. Says, first of all, I'd like to say awesome content as part of the season pass. It's very interesting to have access to watch the production meeting as well as the last part of each stage. Mm-hmm. It's like being a part of the team and knowing the inside jokes that are referenced in the podcast later.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
That's true.
I wanted to ask if it's possible to post the season pass area on the WeDo website. The video of last night's happy hour in particular, I missed it because I was driving from work. Well, Ramon, those all stay in the member area, the member portal.
Yeah.
So when we do a live stream to the members, it stays there. You just need to scroll down like you're going through a blog, and you'll be able to catch the happy hour from last night. So,
and for the listeners, because we talked about it before the show to the members, but for the regular listener here, The happy hour is something because we realized that a lot of our listeners/viewers are asleep right now. There are other places in the world besides North America and Western Europe. So we started a second sort of live feature for our members only, and it's a 3 or 4 days a week, a happy hour session. Last night we went 5:30 to 6:30. This Friday, special guest George Hincapie going to sit in on the happy hour. So if you want to ask George questions, ask me questions, or just watch us shoot the shit, well, you can go to WeDo.team, move over to Season Pass, come join us.
I think it's worth mentioning too. If someone were to join the and become a member today, everything that's already happened will be in there.
Yeah.
So that happy hour.
And we've ordered. We didn't order enough member only teas, so we've got a whole batch of 500 or 600 on the way.
Joe writes in, I would love to reschedule my patients tomorrow and watch the stage and the We Do feed. But those who are being rescheduled might not be so happy.
No, probably not. Especially if they're waiting on like some sort of, like a heart transplant or a liver transplant.
Yeah, just don't put that. Maybe you can listen to the podcast while you're working with patients.
Yeah.
I don't know. Put it in an
Don't do
earbud or
that.
something.
We saw what happened to that doctor that was dancing around.
That's right. Once again, best commentary on the tour. This channel feels so human, down to earth. Excellent, great job, JB and Lance. You're the first thing. It's the first thing I go to when I come home from work. Keep it up. It's the bee's knees. All the best from Manchester, UK.
Wow. Thank you.
This is funny. I don't know.
But how about, can I say something about the UK? Because as we know, and I don't really like soccer, but this would be cool. And I'm gonna.
It's a really popular time to be saying you don't like soccer.
No, I don't follow it. I don't follow it. I mean, they're amazing athletes. There are no timeouts. I love that. They just run around. I don't like it when they fall down and act like they got hurt. That's lame. I get it. Part of the strategy. But France beat Belgium. England playing Croatia. Imagine if England beats Croatia, which I think is starting ASAP. Have a World Cup final with France and England. The frogs and the roast beef. Dude. And then tied through regulation, tied through overtime or extra time, whatever they call it. And then we go to those kickoffs, the penalty things.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
That's exciting.
That's exciting. That'd be awesome.
I think the true fans don't want it to come down to a penalty kickoff.
Oh, they don't? Oh.
I don't know.
They ought to start with that. I'm just saying.
This is funny.
You see what's happening here?
This is just their YouTube, so probably their Gmail name, but their name is Eat Plants 14. And they obviously
Rip Esselstyn.
Yeah, when they watched the show, they said, I don't know if it's a man or woman, when Lance dons the glasses, shit is serious.
Oh God.
So that means whenever you're pulling out your glasses and looking at the map, that's funny.
I got these, baby. These are $15 on Amazon. How we looking? I want to go for a bike ride.
I know. Dear Lance, I'm a Colombian too, and I approve of how you pronounce Gaviria.
Gaviria.
Way better than all the guys on NBC. So everybody's mispronouncing.
Everybody's got her own.
Yeah.
He's young. He's his first tour. They'll get it right.
And
Gaviria.
One last one. Nita writes in, I was so looking forward to Lance imitating Sagan. Every time he did it, I was floored, laughing so hard.
Make party tonight. My friends are a lot of friends. I like to thank my team. He says the same thing every day. It's so funny. He's got English second language. He's like, team amazing position, perfect. Make party.
That's it. Go ride your bike.
Wait. I'm sticking with Julian Alaphilippe tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sticking with that.
All right.
Okay.
That was your pick for today. Sagan
I
won,
was off.
But he'll get it tomorrow.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, later.
Bye.